It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games were missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so had to take a break in the middle of my 10-mile run, getting this week started off right. You know, staying in shape for these videos and for my future. But nonetheless, wanted to get my extended thoughts on Subriel Matias and his beatdown of Jaron Ergashev, as we are in the aftermath of that. You know, it was obviously a fight here on True School Sports, which for months, I mean, going all the way back to May, I was very excited about it. I said that it would be one of the most violent fights in boxing, and for as long as it lasted, it was one of the more violent fights in boxing. It was just, unfortunately, for the most part, one-way traffic. Subriel Matias was supposed to have a tougher fight against Jaron Ergashev, but he beat the fight out of him, and he deserves all the credit in the world for that. So I give him all the credit in the world. It was, on paper at least, a really tough first title defense. He's defended the belt successfully, so you know what they say in boxing. You're not a real world champion until you successfully make that first title defense. So he's legitimized himself in a major way. And just to be honest, I hope PBC, whatever they decide to do from a promotional standpoint, like if the rumors are true that they're going to Amazon or whatever it is, I really hope that they put a better effort into promoting Subriel Matias, because when you look at him and his market value in boxing, the market value that he has outside the ring with the casual fans doesn't match the entertainment value he's been consistently delivering throughout his career. And I just think PBC needs to, with him, they need to either A, go to they need to bring fights back to Puerto Rico. They need to go to New York. They need to go to, you know, maybe the Central Florida area where there's a lot of Puerto Ricans. They got to go somewhere where there's a lot of Puerto Ricans and begin to promote him before, you know, he's no longer in his prime. Because, to be honest, there hasn't been a Puerto Rican star in a long time. Boxing's been so desperate for one that we've had to sit through the likes of like Alberto Machado and you know, that's just one example, but many other fighters as well who have been propped up to be the next Puerto Rican star, but haven't quite lived up to the billing and have failed miserably in their big fights. So with that being said, he's in a unique position because, you know, he's at 140. I don't think any of the 140 pounders want to fight him, but as far as the big fights that I feel could put him over, I'll name a couple. First and foremost, PBC has, or whatever, the Al Heyman umbrella, I won't say PBC, but the Al Heyman umbrella, they do have Jaron Ennis. We know that there's not a lot of big name profiles fighters for Jaron Ennis at 147. I would love this fight. I think Subriel Matias versus Jaron Ennis in Philadelphia will be a great fight. Why? Because there's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Philadelphia. A lot of Philly Ricans, as they say. So I'm sure Subriel Matias would sell tickets there because, number one, he's Puerto Rican. Number two, he's worth the watch. He's worth the money. And you got Jaron Ennis, Philadelphia's favorite son. I mean, it's time to get creative. We can't just sit back and allow Jaron Ennis or make Jaron Ennis pick cannon fodder matchups like Cody Crowley that are going to do nothing for his market value in the sport. I think Matias versus Ennis, you know, I believe is Matias the IBF champion? I believe he might be the IBF champion. So he's the IBF champion. I'm sure he can move up and petition to get a title shot if that's what he wanted in a big fight. I think that fight would be great. You'd have the hard-hitting style, the athleticism, the versatile style of a Jaron Ennis against, you know, the what we call wrecking ball, the straight wrecking ball of pressure that is Subriel Matias. You know, I don't think people are clamoring too much to see Jaron Ennis versus Cody Crowley or Jin Sasaki or Josh Taylor or Giovanni Santillon right now. None of those fights are that appealing, but I think a Subriel Matias fight would make a lot of sense for Jaron Ennis in so many ways. You know, so there's that fight for Subriel Matias. You know, logically speaking, you got Teofimo Lopez, who he is currently the lineal champion at 140. I would love that fight for him because, you know, Teofimo Lopez has been very delusional, making these crazy demands. And it's unfortunate because it's keeping a great fighter like him sidelined. But, you know, this guy's a champion in your weight class. He's a fun fighter. You're a fun fighter. I know Teofimo Lopez has stated many times he's not really interested in fighting Devin Haney because he feels that he's boring or whatever the case may be, or the money's not right, whatever the case may be. So, Devin Haney, that doesn't suit you. If you don't like that fight, then I feel like this is the way to go. And, you know, he's his own. He got his own promoter's license. So, why don't he go try to explore that possibility? I feel like if Teofimo Lopez were to fight Subriel Matias, it would just further increase his amazing resume. So you got that fight for him. Who else is there? I know I'm missing somebody. There was somebody else I was gonna mention. But those are really the two fights that I'm thinking about. Teofimo, Jaron Ennis. I feel like Subriel Matias has given enough entertaining fights where he's fought higher risk, lower war competition. I mean, he's fought whole countries. He's fought the Uzbeks, he's fought the Kazakhs, he's fought the Argentinians. Give him an American. Give him somebody that's a high-profile name in the USA, because he doesn't deserve to be overlooked anymore. I'm very hard on these Puerto Rican fighters sometimes because, that is my heritage. I'm Puerto Rican. I did grow up around a lot of my Puerto Rican family, so a lot of times when I see some of these fighters from the island, and I can just tell by how they fight, they're not really putting the best into their training, or the overall fight plan. A lot of them can't feint, so it pisses me off when I do watch some of these Puerto Rican fighters fight. But we finally got one that's worth the watch, that's entertaining. And even before Ergashev, I'll just be honest, even before Ergashev, I felt like PBC and the fine folks there haven't really put the best foot forward to promote Subriel Matias. Because how do you have his fighting style that I feel any casual boxing fan will like, and he hasn't really been, he's never headlined a card in New York. He's never headlined a card in the Central Florida area, Philadelphia, somewhere where there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, the island itself, Oh, I was just gonna say, the other opponent, I finally remembered, the other opponent I was thinking of for Subriel Matias, and this is probably the most realistic of the bunch. So bear with me. I know I'm all over the place right now. I'm running. I'm a little heavy of breath right now, so thank you guys for watching. But Michel Rivera, he had his 140 debut on the undercard, same card as this one, on the Andre Benavidez undercard with Matias. He fought the guy that Matias was trying to fight before the IBF made him fight Ergashev. Michel Rivera, he scored a good victory over Sergey Lipinets, who was a former champion at 140. It was a fight where he had to really grind it out towards the end, and it was close down the stretch, but he did more than enough to win and looked good. Looked slightly improved in the fight. That's an easy in-house fight to make because Michel Rivera, he's under the PBC umbrella. In fact, that right there, that's the perfect fight to bring back to the island. You have Puerto Rican versus the Dominican in Puerto Rico, him headlining, coming back to make his second defense of the title. That's to me, you can't really do too much better for a homecoming fight than that fight because, I know I'm a big baseball fan, and I just know from growing up around Latin culture, I am part Dominican too as far as heritage is concerned. I know that when you get Puerto Ricans and Dominicans together, it's always a great atmosphere. I remember watching the World Baseball Classic. I'm a big baseball fan, so when I watched the World Baseball Classic, it was down here in Miami. Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic in baseball was crazy, so imagine Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic in boxing in the championship fight. That would be something to watch, and I think that's something that PBC should really explore making happen. And if not in the island, you can take that fight to New York. That's, New York's full of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, so that's just what it is. Those are the three fights I'm looking at for Subriel Matias. Jaron Ennis, Teofimo Lopez, Michel Rivera. I know you got a Pro Grade Haney winner, but I don't think the winner of that fight is going to fight him because Devin is talking about going to 47 already to fight Keith Thurman and all that BS. He's not going to fight Subriel Matias. The money's not going to be enough for him, I don't feel. And then Regis Prograis, Subriel Matias was screaming his name from the mountaintops for months on end. And Regis kept saying, nobody want to fight me. Subriel Matias would call him out. Regis would keep saying, nobody want to fight me. And it took him a while to even acknowledge Subriel Matias. So I just think personally, the three fights I named, those are the three fights that if Subriel Matias' management is listening, those are the three fights you need to explore. Ennis, Teo, Michel Rivera. I think all three of those fights have value. I think all three of those fights, if promoted properly and put in the right location and, with the right marketing dollars put behind it, I feel like all three of those fights would be good for boxing, a net positive for boxing, entertaining for the fans, and it's time to start giving Subriel Matias the promotion he deserves. I've seen a lot of Puerto Rican fighters over the years on this channel come and go, be propped up to no end, get the big fight, fall, get exposed. And when you get one that finally is living up to the billing, It's time he's done his job in the ring. It's time for the people and the promoters and the administrators of his career to do the same thing for him. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys hit the time to subscribe. I'm gonna go back to running. Maybe I'll pause and do a couple more videos, but like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.